Hello folks, I am decided to make a little video here to show you guys my world. So I built this cavern with a little runway and whatnot out in the space engineering world. I have it on survival mode, so it's been interesting digging everything out and getting what I need and whatnot. Anyhow, this is what I wanted to show you. Collecting ores can be a pain. I mean, you just use your mining equipment as I use here. I made this really rugged looking mining equipment with a camera on the back, so I can, whenever I'm docking, these pieces here are for docking, for those who don't know, and I dock it with the station here or in at the other locations, so that I can bring them into the whole system there, which is these things here. Most of you, or a lot of you already know that. And what I did is, to collect the remaining ores, like little pieces floating around, it can be a pain. So this is the one I used to repair. Again, I have my little docking equipment here to bring in materials I need. And this one here is strange looking, but it is my vacuum. It doesn't work quite the way I'd like it to. I'd have to make it into a larger ship, but it works for what for the intended purposes of what I use it for. Anyhow, so what I do is I go and mine, and here I've already collected some here just to show you. This is a work in progress area. So I got mining all over the place here. So it's like, you know, doing it by hand, you don't really have a way of collecting it. When you use your mining equipment, sure, with the machine, it picks up most of the ore, but you always get floating ores like this here. So and when you're using the hand one, most of the time they just fall. So in this case here I have gravity pointing down. So I have one of my gravity equipment on here, so at least it's falling to the, well, ground as determined by the gravity equipment. So this one here is here, so the gravity is down. Unless I go minus, then it's up. If I had it up against the wall, then it would be, instead of up down, it would be left, you know, like this way, that way. So gravity this way would be positive and gravity that way would be negative. So if I had it facing up against the wall, kind of like this here. But this one here is a different gravity equipment. Instead of being linear or a plane, this one here is on a plane. So it's like this floor is a plane. And so anywhere I go, gravity is always the same, pointing down this way, or up if I go negative. But this one here is spherical. So what that means is anywhere around is the gravity. So if I go minus, it pushes everything away from it in a spherical motion. So everywhere around the sphere, in like a big ball, if you will. But if I go positive, then it attracts everything. And this is where things get interesting. So I got my vacuum ready, and I'll show you how I use that in a minute. Generally what I usually do is I have it along a flat floor, and I'll go in, and I have 3 cameras up the base, 1, 2, and 3, so I can kind of see what I'm picking up, and I'll show you that in a minute. But for now, what I'm going to do is show you how to collect ores without having to pick a damn thing up. So you go here, and I have my gravity generator set here. I believe I have it. Oh yeah, I need the gravity to point upwards. The reason being is, I'm going to turn it off for a second. The reason being is I want gravity, I better set it. So I want gravity to be, instead of positive, negative, so it's going to be pointing towards the ceiling. Okay, so now just slightly towards the ceiling. That way there, instead of gravity being directly in the center of here, because this one is in the vicinity, its influence will make the center of gravity a little higher here. So all the ores will collect, theoretically, above this thing here. And I have this one here set as positive, which means attract, not repulse. Positive, okay. And so now, I'm going to turn both on at the same time, and when I do, you're going to see all the ores come down those stairs, and I'll fly up so you can see this. Check this out. Alright, so I'm turning on, give me a second here. Alright, so gravity generators, you can create groups, and I created both together in one group. So there we go, toggle block on now, and as you can see, the ores are flying, and the ones down the stairs are floating down into this area. And the beauty of it is, as long as you have both generators going, instead of it being all clumped against the gravity generator, it's going to be just above it. Actually, I'm going to increase this slightly. Oh, the fun I have with this damn game. There we go. So now they're all collecting just above the gravity generator. And if you want to, you can collect them by hand. You know, I didn't do like 1G. I just did like this one here is set at this one's set at 0.11 G, so positive influence to attract, and this one is set to positive 0.2, so that instead of the gravity being here, it's here. Again, this one here has to be sitting on the floor. If I had it sitting up against the wall, then the gravity would be going this way, that kind of thing. So there you go. So there's all my ores, all grouped and ready to be collected. So now I go with my vacuum, and this is going to look strange to those of you who might find. Alright, so I go like this. I'm going to do the back end. So normally what I would do is I would vacuum stay ahead of me like this, and I look down. Now this is the front of one of the 3 collectors beneath it. So now I'm tilting forward, and then I just go like this. And these things are meant to be. I'll explain that in a second. But when you do this, and you just go ahead and pick them all up, and it's not working quite as well as I could be doing there. You know, kind of messing around here a little bit. There you go, forward, backward. Sometimes I get it a little easier than that, but you get the gist of it. And forward, and go back down towards the ground. I'm now flying down. I've gotten quite good at this damn thing. And so now when I leave the ship, so the idea was I collected from the front here. This is what you were seeing with the camera. The front right here, I was tilting backwards. And the ores are all collected. Oh, except for one that decided to escape. Oh, I have too much money. That guy's staying out. So then if I go in here, which normally would take a long time to collect, if I check the inventories, you'll see that you have 16K here in my medium cargo container, and then in the connectors themselves, the collectors themselves, and the connector and the collector. So what I did is I have 3 collectors here, and I'll explain the collectors. They're not meant to be vacuums. Okay, 3 collectors. Then I have my cargo up here, and they're connected by these tubes. And this is the thing that joins everything up, if you will. There's a tube in here too that goes this one to that one. And so you have 3 collectors, one, what do you call this thing again? Bear with me. One connector. This is the connector. These are 3 collectors. Tubes going to this, tube going up to the cargo, and so it collects everything through the bottom. Now the way it's supposed to work, just so you know, if I go out here, the original ship that I came in, it has one up here. This is exactly what it is, the collector, but this is like under the underside of it. And normally what you would do is you would come up with a ship, and you would go forward like this, and then you would put the back end towards it, whatever, and drop the ores into here. And as long as it touches the surface, it gets collected. Only I decided I really wanted a way to collect those extra ores without having to go through all the headaches, since I'm playing survival mode and I wanted to conserve my ores just for fun. So I put them backwards, upside down, and as long as I'm sitting within its influence, then within the very surface right here, then the ores collect. So there you go. So using gravity generators to attract all your ores, collectors like these here, a ship to be able to suck them up. Well, if I had a vacuum, so what I would do is I go like this. Same idea as I look down. I go up a little. Okay, so I would go up a little, and normally you would see the ores, and I would just move forward like this. And as long as I'm just high enough, sometimes I'll go right to the ground like this and move forward like that, and it would push them. And at some point my thing would start tilting forward, and I would just kind of lift up a little bit like this here, if I can figure it out, and then go like that. It would suck them up. I can't really show you right now, but I might do another video if anybody's interested. So there you go, and there's my world of space engineers. Hope you enjoyed.